Hi all, welcome to another chess24 Banter Blitz. So it's back to the normal 11:30 time. So very interesting tournaments that have been played recently, Tantan Steel, Gibraltar. Okay, let's look at this discount code screen. You can see the voucher code Kingscrusher for a whopping 15% off. So you could get that discount if you use this voucher code and get to challenge me or other streamers. That's a major perk among other perks. So hope you check that out. So let's go to the challenge page now, and the first challenge today, Duke Crusher, which is a very dangerous opponent. I've lost, I think, a few times to him. I'm hoping, okay, I have to play solidly against this guy, otherwise I'll be in big trouble. And I think he's played the London system against me before. Okay, it's not a London system today. I'll try a French. With knight c6. Is that any good? Alright, I've picked this idea up from Adams, actually. Yeah, I think I had a blitz game once against Adams, and he played this, just taking an in. Yeah, okay. So I think this is interesting to start off with. Let's go a5. So b6 now for bishop a6. I hope this is a good idea. It's the idea of this. One of the ideas of this that I have in mind, at least. This pin. I hope audio and visual is okay. Let me know. So that pin, a little bit of annoyance there with that pin. Actually, I'm wondering if knight takes e4, if I should have considered that at least. And maybe there's knight takes e5. I'm opening out that bishop. On knight takes e5, queen takes e5 because of that pin. So maybe I have put this on the board for consideration. Knight takes, queen takes, and knight takes, bishop takes. Maybe that is something at the moment. Okay, could put more pressure on c4 here. So if bishop takes c4, just wanted to get out of the way of knight f5. So if I took here, as that f file is quite dangerous. Not sure that's necessarily a good idea. On the other hand, I think if I took this in g6, then there's no pin, and maybe g6 is plausible. I'm just thinking, because if there was a bishop g5, then g6 would be totally out of the question. But there's two things that has happened on f takes. He hasn't got that nasty pin, basically. If I want to rule out this f5 square, can I do this? Well, I'm hoping I can do this. I think another idea maybe is a4 and knight a5. You couldn't play b4 bishop takes. Okay. So this doubling of the rooks there, is that a problem? I can actually gain a tempo, knight g4, but it runs into a pin later with bishop h3. So maybe I should wait for the doubling and just play a4 with the idea of knight a5. I rule out bishop h3 by not playing knight g4, basically. I'm hoping this is a good idea. If doubling the rooks, knight d7. So I've ruled out bishop h3 and I want to introduce knight a5. Right. Now, if I ignore that, because it creates some dynamic potential, is there a killer check? Knight h6, king g7, knight f5, I play king h8 there. What about just f6 for the moment, so there's no target? Oh, then there's bishop h3. Okay. So bishop h3 could be on the way anyway. King h8. That sort of would pin the knight in a way. If knight h6, f6. Well, I believe f6. If bishop h3, maybe I can consider taking. Or if bishop h3, actually, maybe I can consider knight a5. If that knight's truly pinned, knight h6, queen h3, knight f7, king g7. I mean, so I'm hoping f6 here. So, do I have actually the possibility of knight a5 or not? Okay. If I took in king g7, there's still a pin on c4. As long as f6 is not a problem. f6 is not a problem here. Is bishop h3 a problem? Okay, now this is my chance, isn't it? Okay, I have to move the knight. And there's b4. Knight e6. Check. Rook f7. Rook f6. And if rook f7, knight e5, knight e5. I think rook f7 might be playable. And then knight f8 if he doubles. I'm hoping knight f8 is playable. Okay. Is a3... I hope that's playable as well. Okay. Knight e6. Time's getting a bit limited now. If I kick this guy back... Actually, the knight hasn't got a square here, has it? Right. So if I played knight c5, or does knight f8? To control the entry points. Okay. Can I exchange off? I think maybe I want to centralize and double the rooks here. Maybe if I double the rooks. Take that off. Take it here. c5 looks good. Or taking here, or holding the pawn, and then knight takes is threatened. Okay, so knight takes is still. Well, Okay, unfortunate, but he has beaten me a few times before. He's played very dangerously in the past. Okay, thanks. Let's go on to the next. I want to say something about this. The opening. Yeah, I had this game against one of the Britain's best ever grandmasters once, and I was playing on the white side. And I wanted to play this fianchetto system, and the intention of G3 Bishop G2. I found it actually quite suave what he did, just to play D takes here. As soon as there's a commitment for the bishop, I actually found it. I probably should study Michael Adams for positional play. He's always impressed me positionally, but just the idea of taking and then E5, it means it's not the usual kind of French defense. Both the bishops are quite good, and there's quite often the plan of bishop C5, A5, B6, and bishop A6 later. And also my friend Paul Georgie has played a lot with the black side against me with this. So it frustrates the fianchetto bishop because the bishop is locked in by its own pawn. I think it's quite an interesting thing, and I think I've got some videos about this system. So it's an anti-King's Indian attack system. You just take on E4 and then E5. Okay. Kasparov fan. I could get ready to react with D4, you know. I don't want to allow double pawns necessarily. This looks a bit troublesome actually. I wonder if bishop G5 can play F3. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if Queen B3 here. Just checking the tactics. Rook E2 is not a disaster. Bishop Z3 is not a disaster. It seems logical to hit D5. If I can follow through with knight F4, then I'm on D5 and potentially B7 as well, of course. But knight F4. So I think getting rid of this bishop adds to some comfort, I think, to the white position without this bishop glaring down this diagonal. So knight F4 with options. I wouldn't say my position looks great, but try and get rid of some negativity there. You know, I think it's got stuff going for it. Okay, D4 for me is liability. Maybe I should support that first. So I'm hoping knight F4 is facilitated, although knight D4 needs to be calculated for bishop C5. Maybe even another move, king H1. It's starting to look a lot of moves are being spent here. King F1, king H1, this looks like a waste of time. How about bishop G5? H6. I really wouldn't to go there, because maybe then G5 later is arranged. If I play bishop F4, there's knight A5. Okay, stop the use of... I was almost going to trap my queen with A4. A4, I think there's knight takes A4. Well, there's queen A2 anyway. Okay, let's test this. A4, at the worst case, I think queen A2. Okay. Now, giving me the dark square bishop could be a cause for celebration. I don't think my dark square bishop is that terrible at the moment. Bishop f4. How about, I wonder rook d2 and just centralize. Or can I provoke another weakness for free here? F6 or h6. Possibly those are moves which he doesn't want to. Well, especially f6. Especially f6. I have to go back though in an awkward place. Now possibly, unless bishop h4 is better. Bishop h4 might be better. Oh, go bishop h4. Yeah, he has got the possibility of bishop h7 and g5. I wonder if f4 is on the cards. Or knight takes d5 here, he wins my queen. Right, I think I ought to do this for rook f1 to stop any rook e1 check. And what's wrong with queen takes d5 out of interest? And I've ruled out that potentially painful check. Queen takes d5. Oh. Alright, that introduces g5 as well. So I think I need to kick this with tempo. If check, maybe king f2. I need to get a tempo. Oh, he's going to play g5. Uh-oh. He's getting in g5. This looks dumb for me. This looks dumb. That's the only thing I can do, isn't it? There's limited responses here. Knight f4, bishop g3 at least. I suppose he's weakened his king slightly. He's got the possibility of the form pawn, h3, bishop h1. If I ever get in king f2 and rook g1, I'm hoping it's a bit double-edged, this g5 business. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. G takes, I can calculate something, G takes while I'm waiting, h3. If bishop f1, rook f3, if bishop h1. At least the pawn's blocking. Okay. I have to get. Actually, can I kick this while I'm about it? Being a bit on the defensive here. How about b3? His bishop's kicked out of c4. It can land on a6. Though. What about knight a4 to c5 though? You can still use the e2 square though. What about queen f5 trying to weaken d5? Even though I have double pawns, I think he's putting him on the defensive with limited time available. d5 has to be defended. Can I go for knight c5 now without worried so much of e2? So knight c5. This is starting to look good. I'm going to take some pawns. And knight d6, knight c4 and d5. Some forcing moves all of a sudden. In fact, he's losing a piece there. Oh, that was a very difficult game to play. I was on the defensive, so well played. Marco. I'm hoping when people move pawns around the king, it's double-edged by default, usually. Yeah, if I didn't have g4, then my bishop was like dropping off for nothing. Play for d5 if possible, maybe. Although I might have to factor in some stuff. First of all, he might stop d5. We get a similar structure to the previous game, except I don't have to play f3 this time. Maybe I can target d5 in a more comfortable manner. Stop bishop g4, play bishop e3 and knight f4 and queen b3 without so much hassle as the previous game. This would be good. So bishop e3, knight f4, queen b3. If rook b1, bishop f5, so queen d2. If a3 does knight a5 to c4. So for the moment, this, again, we're talking about defending d4 before thinking about d5. I suppose that's art of war, put yourself beyond defeat before going on to the attack. So I'm thinking about d4 before d5. So knight f4, then, and you have to worry about d5 himself, I would hope. Now if the queens come off, does it matter? No. Yeah. So I'm hoping he has to do something about d5. a3, knight c2. Is the knight kind of stranded? He can strengthen my e3, but, you know, I can play rook d1, let him strengthen. Okay, he gets rid of that, but then d5 is a problem again, surely. So let's imagine this. Well, we don't have to imagine it. Knight takes, f takes. I'll be on d5. Right. It might be worth. It's almost like symmetrical stuff going on. If I took on e6 and changed the plan for targeting e6 instead, I think I'm going to do that because I've seen Karpov even doing that, playing against the isolated queen's pawn in one example game of Karpov. I remember him targeting, you know, getting, I think, Kasparov's pawns like this and targeting e6 instead. And so sometimes transitioning a weakness into another weakness, which is easier to exploit, basically. If rook c4, though, am I in trouble on rook c4? Maybe bishop h3. I have to really start targeting this. Rook e8. What do I do? If I played bishop e3 here, would that be so bad? Okay, we're getting very symmetrical structure again. Except I played h4. Opposite to the bishops, pretty symmetrical structure. He can target my e3. I can target his e6. He's giving me a tempo, though. And he's giving me a key pawn. No, I think he made a mistake there. It was completely symmetrical before that. No, when I say completely, well, you know what I mean. Fairly symmetrical. I think I take on c2 and play rook f2 here. And this is anything. There's rook f7, is there? Takes, that'll be the exchange up. Rook takes c7, I've got a rook on the 7th. Rook f7 seems pretty good. Oh, he plays check. He plays check. To keep things simple, maybe I take this. And, okay, I can play rook f7 here. Or rook f2. Well, I'm 2 pawns up, so I think I can't complain here about this. So I'll start rolling in the central pawns. Then I've got the extra 2 ones in the centre. So it's not symmetrical anymore. Roll down these pawns. d6 and e6. Okay, thanks for the game. Yeah, it was perfectly balanced, it seemed to me, before that mistake. Yeah. Enough. Oh, is this going to be a London system? Okay, okay. Sometimes the Slav is okay. Apparently, a lot of people play it. Okay, I don't know. Let's try it. Maybe b5 or something. I'll wait for bishop d3 for d takes and b5 and try and liberate with c5 this bishop, which is a prisoner potentially. So the c8 bishop, a prisoner. Right now he's played like this. Another waiting move. He's not playing bishop d3. It's only one tempo. Come on. Come on. I think I have to use a temporary pawn sack. I don't want to lock down with b4. Can I afford this? I'm hoping this is tactically afforded. Knight takes, he can win my queen for 2 pieces. Bishop takes, on the other hand, looks as though I can play bishop takes. It's an inconvenience of some sort, but the key thing, I want to liberate this bishop. It's again a symmetrical pawn structure here. Knight e4, bishop e7. I'm hoping, okay, the good thing is this isn't the prisoner. That's the key thing to avoid, I think. Oh, there's another key thing about this, that my queen is on this file. Am I going to be losing a pawn to bishop h7? Yeah. Yeah, okay. If I play g takes, he's not really going to win that pawn, is he? I got the h-file attack as compensation. He can play bishop takes h7. Let's get the queen out of the firing line. Queen c8. Or rook c1. Rook. Then queen c8 after. Queen c7 after. Queen c7. There was also the possibility of bishop f. Okay. Queen b6 or queen c7. Queen b6. Oh, this knight's loose. Okay, the knight's loose. Hassle. Okay. I got this g-file though to play with. King h8 and rook g8. I've got a g-file road to his king here if I can avoid losing all my pieces. King h8 and rook g8. And there's queen h5 coming. I can try and stop naughty business with knight, maybe knight e5. I want maybe he's going to play queen h5. I can take out the bishop, bishop e4 to g6. Is that possible? Oh, I'm running out of defensive ideas. f5 for bishop f6. At least it blunts that bishop. Bishop f6 on queen h5. Is that enough for the moment? Defensively. Bishop f6, queen e7 to f8 to g7, and queen e7 to f8 to h6. Okay, that's not the move I was terrified about. I was more worried about his queen coming in for the kill, funny enough. So he's shielded his queen from being an attacking monster at the moment. Okay, this weakens d4 and the whole diagonal. I guess there's a point to it. But queen b6, bishop f2 might be the point. Yeah. If I played queen b6, bishop f2, knight takes d3, rook takes d3, doesn't that give me a chance to move something? Okay. There might be some other ways of playing this position. Although I don't want to run out of time. I'll calculate this for a moment. Let's just play this for a moment. That's too dangerous, the F file, surely. My queen is just being harassed here. Queen c7, back to c7. If I have to lose a pawn, I lose a pawn. Oh, no. Takes. Okay, get the tempo. Stop the queen from doing something for a moment. Check king g7. That was knight g4. Okay, that's unfortunate. It's lost. Pre-move time. Okay, yeah, it's getting smashed. Getting smashed. It's just the art of pre-moves helps in these blitz games, but most especially bullet chess I've discovered recently. But yeah, okay, I was getting crushed there. Oh, crushed. There's no, okay, well played. Played. Just got to checkmate. Maybe sometimes a bit quicker or something. Get the mating next quicker or something. If someone's gonna pre-move invention. My friend Paul Georgiou hates pre-moves on servers. He thinks it's unfair. It's the pre-move invention. Is very well played. So trying to weaken f4 here. If he took that f4, okay. Knight g4 and h5. Okay, this looks good for knight g4, h5, knight f4. Can't take on e4 here. I'm threatening e4 here. Okay, I think e4, there's no checks or anything. I think e4. I'm not getting mated on e8, am I? Take on d5. take on f4. I think queen f6 to g6. I think I can play rook g8 if it took check, 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 take a bishop eventually. Am I imagining it? I hope I'm not. It's a vacuum cleaner or something. What's that tactic? Windmill, not vacuum cleaner. It's a windmill tactic. Rook g2. There's multiple checks. End up winning the bishop on b5 at least. Unless I've totally miscalculated this. Vacuum cleaner. Sorry, that's not the name of the tactic, but you can probably see why I thought of that. So I take on b5, he takes on f6. Unless there's anything stronger here, I'll take on b5. Right. Right, this does introduce rook g8 check as well. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'll restrict the king. And so I think there's bishop a6 now. Okay, so what's happening here? I think there's not too many moves. I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. Should I put on this fire? I'm tempted for a moment. If it was plugged in, it would help. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, thanks for the game. I think I'm about to sneeze soon. Pardon me. Okay. Actually, I think there's knight e5 here. I've just kind of blundered. I shouldn't have done this. think it's known to be better for white. This knight e5 tactic for d4. In fact, here I think you can win a pawn anyway, because e4 is protected. It's basically, he's created the two knights variation, which is quite interesting actually. This interesting little trap in that two knights is a major trap when black plays bishop c5. Knight g4, is that any good? Oh, knight h7 to g5 looks as though that could. Well, bishop h6. Well, ask him what he's doing with this bishop over here for a moment. And queen f7 or rook g8. I think rook g8 means f5. I can hit h4. I might try that. No, I'll drop h6 again. And there's queen h7 there. Hold on. Possible. Maybe queen h7 on bishop h6. Just thinking f5. f4. Oh. I'll take like this for knight e6 and knight f4 and knight e6. I could castle queenside actually. Knight e6 castles queenside. If I castled queenside, then knight f4 after. It's possible. I think hitting a4 is okay. I'll take with a queen. I don't want to lose g6 in a hurry because then f5 will go after. If I lost g6, I think it's important to not lose g6. Queen goes back to e7, then knight f4. Would you do something about a4? That's trivial, really. I'm more interested in playing for knight f4. Knight f4 can be played here. Knight e2. If knight e2, then there's knight c4. His queen's a bit overloaded. It's possible that he does knight e2, I suppose. f5 here hits the knight as knight f3. I wonder if I can take this d file with queen d7. Can I take the d file? Queen d7 and try and double. Now that knight's holding g6, my rook's not tied up to g6, is it? So let's see. Can I play rook d8 and queen d3 as an example? I can still take the... No, I can't. This knight on h4 is very annoying. How about queen g4 here? Isn't that tactically very strong? Because it takes. He's got queen h3. He ends up with a wrecked pawn structure. I'm threatening... Well, if he has a wrecked pawn... Okay. If he has a wrecked pawn structure, no. Yeah, queen h3, that's awkward. I'm still tied down to g6 though. So I'm hitting h4 and e2. Let's imagine knight takes, pawn takes. So no queen f3, queen h4. Imagine queen h3, queen takes, g takes. It's on g6. So I can't take that d-file without dropping g6. Oh, there's rook g8 winning the knight. I can take the d-file. That's a little trap. There's rook g8. Which he's fallen straight into. I know it's naughty. It's naughty. There's no knight e7 because it's pinned. Yeah, I'm sorry. It wasn't really to set a trap. I just wanted the d-file. But on the other hand, if king h1, I guess I have to do something with the g-pawn. Maybe g5. The knight goes, then rook d2 or rook d3. Rook d3 would hit h3 and it's c3. So maybe it's not such a bad trap to play. Okay, so let's go on to the next challenge. Okay. I can take that, can't I? Okay, my king might not castle. Slight downside, maybe. Alright, knight f4 coming up. Try and hit d5. This theme of d5 today. Is he playing actually bishop e6 or something? No. Okay, I'm taking this pawn as well. And I think I'm going to take this in d5. Although there's rook d8 to think about. e4. Then his knight moves. Bishop e3. I start clawing the dark squares. d5, rook d8. e4. Knight moves. Bishop e3. Something like that. Knight e5. Maybe I would want to stop knight g4. Maybe h3. Idea. f4, e5. f4 without knight g4. f4. Knight c4. e5. There's a check on b6. King h2. I think that's okay. King h2 or g4. I think king h2 is okay. Alright, so h4 might be an issue. If I played h4 myself, that seems okay. If I played d6, then maybe... Oh, hang on. Okay. e6, there's bishop e6. Okay. If I played e takes instead, e takes f6, I could be content with that. And I hate saying goodbye to my connected pawns, though. But goodbye, connected pawns. Bishop e3 to d4. Now, bishop d4, queen b3, something like that. Queen b3 here threatens d6 check. Hang on. That, it might be if the knight takes and bishop e6. Do I play d6 then? I think maybe d6. Might be threatening the check, and there's bishop e6. Rook c1. Gives me bishop c5 to play with. What about just getting the queens off? Play bishop b6 to c7. That's one idea. And take the e5, rook e8, rook to e1. Just control this e file. No need to give counterplay. Bishop c7 or something, or rook e7. Rook e7. d7. It looks okay. Got to be careful. It's easy to get complacent sometimes. I got to be careful. I think rook e8 now is threatened. He's got no king g8. He's got king g7 though. What about bishop c5 after that? Or bishop takes d8. I think rook e8, yeah, king g7, bishop takes d8. Let's see. Well, I can take the rook now. And take this guy. Just take things. Can I mate with the two bishops here? Or not? And the rook. So we'll try and control the exit squares. So bishop d5 and then check. Alright, thanks for the game. Okay. Friedel. Right, there is an invitation for d5, so slightly different. This could be a bit like a Benoni, in fact. Fianchetto, Benoni. Maybe knight f4 here. Knight e6 looks interesting. I think I don't need f4, I don't need the hassle of the weaknesses necessarily. Knight e6 and just get the light square bishop maybe. Okay, there's no e5 break. This is very tactical. I'm not actually convinced by that idea necessarily. Oh, let's do it anyway. Given I've committed to it, there's no e5 break. I've just denied myself the e5 plan. So this is a more tactical approach. Perhaps that pawn shouldn't be in danger. I will have light square play, surely. Rook e1. Knight d5. The bishop without the counterpart. Rook e1, knight d5, or rook e1, or bishop g5, or rook e1 here. There's bishop d4 for knight g3. There's tactics all of a sudden. Knight d5. Hang on, the knight's hanging. Hold on. Weakness of the last move. I keep telling everyone about. I do a bit of chess coaching. That's the one thing I mentioned, by the way, is weakness of the last move. I mention it a lot because I say repeatedly a lot of blitz games are won just based on weakness of the last move. When something's neglected, there's an opportunity. Bang. It's like almost, and I had this experience recently which reinforced, thanks, weakness of the last move. I started doing puzzles, my own puzzles, from Variations Analysed on my channel, and I noticed, and my analysis is with Stockfish 10, I noticed that even on Variations, I'd checked out just hours before. When I was getting them wrong, I realised actually that my enthusiasm, shall we say, to check for weakness of the last move to solve these puzzles was less than optimal. There's room for improvement, even if you're aware of weakness of the last move as a concept. You've got to be like always on, always alert to that, especially when solving puzzles. And there's also the other aspects. I noticed that some puzzles actually you have to give the opponent's pieces overloading responsibility first, then there's the weakness of the last move that you force sometimes. So it's one of my favourite. I think statistically a lot of blitz games are won simply on the weakness of the last move. And I just noticed when I was doing puzzle training recently that my strictness for checking wasn't that great. It's not 100%. It needs to be pushed up somehow. So it's like an automatic thing. I think it should be like, ideally, when you're playing blitz, it's like the first thing to calculate, high priority, forcing moves and also weakness of the last move. Very high priorities to almost, the opponent makes a move. What have they just neglected? Can you pounce on it? Especially like doing puzzles is the same thing. Yeah. It's weakness of the last move. I mean, it simplifies a lot of calculations, and the beauty of it is, you can have really advanced plans, but you can just fall at that simple stumbling block, or the opponent can fall on the simple stumbling block. Okay, if I castle, he's got bishop h3 because I'm neglecting h3. That's a weakness in the last move. Unless I want to make that into some sort of weird gambit. Knight d5 here. I don't know if knight d5 is. I want to see what he does. Does he play c6? If he plays c6, Stockfish 10 does millions of positions a second, but when you actually do variations for your own games, you'll notice a lot of the tactics are simply weakness in the last move. You wouldn't need to calculate millions of positions. You just check what's just happened. Because Maurice Ashley did this video called The Secret of Chess, and he talked about this, that even in these old master games, they had these grand plans, but it was literally like they could have played just to the opponent's last moves. And it's called The Secret of Chess. So it inspired me the whole thinking on it was inspired from that. So I thought, hang on, for me, I think I regard this as weakness of the last move, and did a few videos on it, and forgot about it, but recently realised I'm not 100% on it. So anyway, okay, I won't go on about it now. Let's carry on this game. So let's protect this pawn. E4. It seems as though I should be trying to clamp down on B5, although B5 is clearly possible anyway. Unless he allowed me A5, which he doesn't. Okay, B5 is clamped down. I wonder now if I just played Queen E2 and Rook E1. I assume he's going to play F5. I assume we might change the pawn structure. I might get blockade square on D3. C4 might be weakened. So I assume something like... Okay, this gives me something else. He's got dislocated pawn now on E5. F5, I could look at the tactics briefly. I don't see anything. E5 looks nice for blocking in the bishop. Now he could undermine immediately with F6. So D4 seems like a disconnect pawn, disconnected. So I have some naughty plans based on D4 coming up. E.g. bishop E1 to F2. But at the moment he's always got F6. I could pile up the pressure behind E5 and then proceed to somehow attack D4 later to try and suppress F6. One of the points of Nimzovich overprotection of a central square like E5 is to discourage pawn breaks like F6. He had a very specific example where overprotecting a central point suppressed F6. And you can even see overprotection a lot in Leela chess games. It seems the network has picked up Nimzovich, my system, en route. After millions and millions of games, I don't know if any of you noticed, it completely decimated the Fire chess engine yesterday. Something like 6-1, which is unheard of in engine chess. A lot of the games were French defences, which allow positional manoeuvring. But yeah, the neural network's positional play is beyond anything I've seen ever. Okay, is A5 hanging? E2, rook E2, rook E2. Can I take this? Okay, it's a loose piece for a moment. Any double attacks? Don't think so. I think I'm getting away with this. I'm hitting C2. Can I play bishop B6? Actually, that would try and win D4, that pawn of interest. There might be some tactics with bishop H3, I guess. Bishop H3, rook H1. King takes, check, rook H2. It's a little bit dangerous, this bishop H3. I don't know how much time I should spend on it. I don't have to play bishop takes H3 on bishop H3. If I ignored it, say bishop B6, bishop H3, bishop D4, bishop G2, king G2, queen G4. This is uncomfortable though. Is he going to play it? Okay, I'm testing. No. Okay. Can I take on D5 here or not? My king's a little bit scary. I'm hoping this stuff is okay. Rook e6. Looks like a mating net with the two bishops, rook e6. Can I play king h1 with the idea of rook c1, bishop g1? Unless there's any evil tactic I've missed there. I'm hoping king h1, rook c1, bishop g1. He hasn't got bishop e4 to get queen h3. He can't legally do that. The rook's on e6. Just engine check this game for a moment, because I'm not sure if there's some lurking tactic here. Well, it does say white's winning. I wonder if there was this bishop h3, or was it just my imagination running wild? If there was bishop takes h3, if I take here, rook h1, it's equal at least. If I play this, I get mated. So it's actually equal, it seems. Perpetual check. At least it's a lot of hassle. My queen's on b3, not helping matters. So that's kind of an invisible threat. I chose to ignore it. But in the event, as I say, I don't have to take on h3. Something like queen takes d5 then. That looks best. That's a weakness in the last move. Neglecting d5, take on d5 instead. That's okay. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Cobra. Okay, I hope I haven't disconnected. I'm going to say hi on the chat there. Okay, I think I'm still connected, thankfully. BT's been a bit more reliable recently. So I hope some of you are following Leela Chess, that neural network for positional play tips. I am. I'm getting some inspiration for positional play. The classic one, form pawn, seems to have been adopted by part of the chess community, at least, I've noticed. The form pawn, which both AlphaZero and Leela are playing a lot recently. So, yeah, some pointers here positionally from the neural network chess. By the way, I'm approaching 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you could be the 100,000 subscriber. Maybe I should give a prize for that person that we can't. I don't know how to work it out though, if it's possible. But yeah, I'm approaching 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think I'm within 200 or something at the moment. I think a lot of the recent enthusiasm I've had is from neural network games. I was getting a bit bored actually of over the board games, and it came at the right time. The AlphaZero games, I thought they were a bit out of this world, kind of spicy looking chess. Is that a good term? Spicy looking? I don't know if it's a good term, but yeah, I found them much spicier than normal over the board Grandmaster games, the Alpha Zero games, and I got into Leela after, thankfully, the open source equivalent, where people could just create games as much as they want. Tons of different network IDs all the time. It's chaos. It's fun chaos though. It's great, all the tracking and stuff and community around the Leela network project. I'd recommend to check it out. lc0.org. It's a lot of fun since inception to me. Okay, so I think I've just won a piece there, have I? I did a pre-move, forgot about it. I was looking over there after I did my pre-move. Okay, let's pay attention. Pay attention. G5, knight G6. Alright, bishop takes C6 would win an exchange. I guess I should be concerned about that. Although, in a way, it's simplification. G. I don't want to lose the center pawn. He's piling on the pressure. Can I play queen takes C6 to avoid the structural damage? No, the fork, knight fork. Okay, try and avoid the knight fork. Probably a lesser evil decision. What I call a lesser evil decision. Oh, hang on. What's this? If my king was on this diagonal, then bishop d4. But here it seems my king's not on h8. So I'm thinking this might be playable without bishop d4. Okay. So can I play... okay, it's on g6 as well. Can I take some squares? Maybe bishop d7, rook a f8, knight d5. Stockfish got knocked out. That was one of my last videos by Houdini, which I actually bought version 6 over a year ago, and it actually hasn't been updated since version 6, funny enough. But Houdini, yeah, is a one-person project, I think, and defeating the whole team of Stockfish, I think it's remarkable that he hasn't done any development on it for over a year, but managed to beat Stockfish in a whole match, basically, to knock out Stockfish during the first few games, and then beating Stockfish, which basically, I don't know if the chess community should be understanding the implication of that, that most of the modern books that you get will be checked by Stockfish 10. Doesn't matter if they're Grandmaster or Super Grandmaster. So basically we're saying Houdini, which hasn't been updated, let's not do that, for a year and a half, beats basically the infrastructure checking of all the books, modern books we have. Because basically, yeah, the modern books will be checked by Stockfish, and Houdini beat it, basically, in a match. It made, actually, Stockfish look, again, coldly materialistic at the expense of piece position. And if you're in a Catalan, which is a rich opening, non-technical, you know, the pawn sacrifices in the Catalan can be absolutely lethal. Positional pawn sacrifices we're talking about, not for tactics, just positional pawn sack in the Catalan. I think just Stockfish was out of its water. The fish was out of its water. So I enjoyed covering that game yesterday. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's incredible actually, though, from a programming perspective. You've got an entire team of programmers. There's, I think, 10 or something more. So they all, basically, Stockfish lost to Houdini, who's a single guy behind it, as far as I'm aware. So remarkable and shocking, I thought, yesterday. Which means, Leela, it was the much anticipated final in T6. It's not going to happen between Leela and Stockfish. It's not going to happen this time round, I assume, unless... and I don't know. I don't think it's happening at the moment then. now. But I also have this idea that books before the computer era basically were full of mistakes. I think if the neural networks are so superior to Stockfish, the books might need to be revised with deeper ideas, basically, like positional pawn sacrifices, etc. So there's a lot of opportunity for rewriting chess books, I think, at the moment, emerging. If this really is the case, that the latest Stockfish is going to start losing to Leela more frequently, or a neural network like it. But I think Leela's the top neural network for the moment. But I imagine, yeah, books would need to be rewritten. Like the books before the computer era, they had technical, tactical mistakes. It doesn't matter if there were GMs or whatever. People are just human. GMs can slip up tactically, miss subtle nuances in a particular position. So Stockfish's Rufus is going to see all of that in like a millisecond, all the tactical nuances usually. And so I think engines had a profound effect on book checking, the analysis, the ideas, the implementation of the ideas. But it's going to be, I think, a new wave, basically, where I think especially interesting would be, to me, the more dynamic, aggressive gambits. If they were revisited with a powerful neural network, there might be a number of continuations which the neural network would more easily recognize as having enough dynamic compensation to make these lines playable, which maybe Stockfish ruled out, for example. So that's why I think there's an opportunity here for this neural network revolution, that we're probably missing out a lot of dynamic ideas which are just ruled out simply by alpha beta algorithms, because the algorithms are so clinical. They're not dynamic, far-seeing. They're not based on pawn structure patterns. So I think there's a problem there. The sniper chess. Okay. 3-minute game. Pre-moves. We're playing a 3-minute game. Are we? Okay, we're not. Okay, 1 elephant, 2 elephants, 3 elephants, 4 elephants, 5 elephants, 6 elephants, 7 elephants, 8 elephants, 9 elephants, 10 elephants. Okay, I'm afraid another time for that. Right. This might be the last game. There's only about 6 minutes left for this session, so this might be the last game. Stick with this setup, which has been okay, but maybe Botvinnik's system with E4 now. This guy's very quick, but I got my default little. Oh, can't play my default little plan now. Oh, very aggressive, very aggressive. Okay. I think I'm ready to react with G4 at the moment. There's not necessarily a piece sack immediately available on G4. Maybe knight G4. Maybe G5 to avoid a piece sack would be good. I don't want a knight G4 necessarily. I want to take that off the table. as they say in Brexit negotiations. Take no deal at all. Oh, it might not be funny, Brexit soon. Okay. Anyway, that's another subject. So D4. D4. Is D4 plausible? Is he torch me with the F4 square? F4. Okay. What's going on here? He's playing like me or something. Is he going to do a pawn sack now? Is he going to get squished? I wonder. Is this knight going back or is it going to F4? Oh, I wonder. How about C5? Maybe I put some oomph for C5 first. For D6 if taking D6. So C5 threat, I think. C5. Unless, hold on a sec. Knight A4, okay. No, he's played that. I just grab that light square bishop. What if I just did grab that light square bishop? Is that pointless with knight b5? Or play f4. Is that mostly pointless? E takes, knight takes f4. Let's imagine bishop g5. He wouldn't really play like that, would he? You know what? I don't believe it. I don't believe this awkwardness. I think I can lose a pawn. His king's still in the centre. I think the instinct here is to open things up. He's got a combination of king in the centre and spectator pieces, and pieces still on the back rank. They haven't got out of bed yet. While the pieces are still in bed, sleeping, I want to do a pawn sack without worrying too much. Yeah. Let's face it when it happens. E takes, knight takes, bishop takes g5. For example, knight e6 might be good. Bishop takes, knight takes c7, but unfortunately I don't think it works. Because knight takes would... Okay. What about f5 here? Or g6? f5? Okay, it's not even a pawn sack now. It just seems like a massive space advantage. No. Not even a pawn sack. I'm sure I could benefit from this space. He's making me a little bit complacent, maybe, about the position. Can I put the rook on g2? Do I want to put the rook on g2 with bishop f3, rook g2? Let's see. He's got knight h7. Is there some idea to sort of... Okay, tactical vulnerabilities. Get rid of my responsibilities a bit on g5. So bishop f3, rook g2. Maybe there's g6 invited because of, I don't know, this diagonal. Okay, I don't believe this. Knight b5 is so tempting. But then say b6 and then, I don't know, do I open things up there? Okay. I'm suppressing g6. It's more positional, isn't it? Suppressing g6. There's a case for a3, b4, maybe. a3 as though I'm trying to open up lines on the queen side. Although now my rook is not doing anything there. How about preparing b4? In fact, let's imagine, is he protecting with queen a5? And can I not, in this case, play bishop d1? Knight d3, bishop d1? I'm thinking c4 is vulnerable. If I played bishop... Oh, blimey. What's going on here? Oh, I didn't want that sort of counterplay. Oh, it's going to be on h3 if I left that. Then he plays e4 or something. So, okay. Am I being ultra pedantic to play bishop d1? Let's imagine g takes, e takes, and he's got e4 on the cards. If I play knight a4, he's got bishop f5. If I played then b4, am I not opening up things? So taking out this pawn is important for b4 in a nutshell. Even if he wins f5. Oh. Okay. Hang on. There's also this idea of queen e1. Okay, he's justified it. It's got queen e1. Sneaky stuff. Sneaky. Hang on, isn't there a tactical f6? There's knight f6. No. Okay, am I threatening knight e4? Forget the pawn for a moment. Alright, knight e4 just positional. Let's try and keep a positional position. Maybe forget the a4 pawn. He's dissuaded me away from a4 now. I'll try and keep my pawns together. Maybe knight mass centralization, knight d3. There's a potential for centralizing pieces here. Oh no, c4's dropping. Oh crikey, what am I doing? Have I got knight takes e5? On queen e2 there's knight takes d7. Have I got knight takes e5 or not? Queen takes d5. Pre-move time. Uh-oh. Was a bit passive. I don't want to get mated to rook h7 to end the session particularly. If I can avoid it. Can I avoid getting mated? Because I don't like that mated feeling all the time at the end of sessions. Okay, I avoided it this time. Okay. Crikey. There's a lot of play generated there, a lot of counterplay. A lot of counterplay. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. Hope you had a good time this week. I mean, good games, and see you. Have a nice weekend. Rest of the weekend, nice week. See you next week. Thanks very much.